serious situation going on with AI, books, DVDs, CDs, all of the original media material. They is getting rid of this material. They scanning all the books in, they scanning them in, and if you don't have the original book, then you wouldn't know what was in that book. And so they're gonna get rid of all the black history, the ancient African history. They're gonna get rid of that. And just like Donald Trump is getting all the history out the museum, that's what they're doing with the AI. That's exactly what they're doing with the AI. They are scanning it in. They getting all the, all the truth, all the research, all the bibliographies. You're not gonna have access to that. And so what they're doing is they colonizing information through artificial intelligence. Artificial, listen to that. Artificial intelligence. It's artificial. AI is artificial. I had to fight with AI. If you ain't got nothing to back it, and most of the time, if you got documents and that's what's and they want to know that the AI say, if you know any, please let me know. And so if you got your Google and all of that, it hear you talking. The phone turn on, the TV turn on. It's getting all the information. It's colonizing the information. When you go on AI, if you ain't got no hard copies, in which you can reference, then after a while, AI is going to be your only source of information. By that time, they're going to be to weed it out, edit it out, all the information that's going to, empower you, show the truth of African origin, black people's origins. They're gonna edit all that out. So right now it's a fight for peoples to maintain some originality. It's a fight. You got to make sure you got to buy 4, 5 copies of every damn book. You got to buy 4, 5 copies, 6 copies. Don't read 4, 5. You just read one. You know what I'm saying? And keep that one is in good shape. But keep and stock it up, so you can always have access. You might have to scan it in, as long as it's the original book. If it's scanned in and it's the original book, but just, if you don't have the hard copy, then you in trouble. You in trouble. That's why you go on Google Books, sometimes they had a copy scanned in, which is a whole lot better than just somebody didn't type the words. You don't know what the original manuscript said if they type it in. And CDs, and vinyl, a lot of people's is reintroducing vinyl out there right now. That's a better quality. You can hear sounds and that you can't see, just off the computer. No, just download that right off of digital. It does not have the same sound as a CD, vinyl. It don't. It don't. And the vinyl might actually even be better. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me get you on there, bye. Yeah, might even be better. It might even be better than the DVD. You see what I'm saying? Might even be better than the DVD. And so understand that. Understand that all the quality, they want you to diminish in quality. They want you to diminish in quality and accept anything. Diminish in availability to truth, wisdom, and knowledge that has been handed down through the researchers. You see? So you got to be aware of what's going on. And I remember this movie. It was also Time Machine. It was also Time Machine. And they had the black guy, he was playing a version of AI. He was a guy. He was a part of the system. He wasn't real. He only come up on the screen, but the screen was everywhere. They had where you could access AI all over the city, but it was in some apocalyptic shit. And the city had uh some had happened where the world had ended, but the computers were still, it was still active, and so you could go to a screen anywhere in the city, and this black guy would pop up, virtual reality. Yeah, he would get to talking and whatnot, and so that's where they trying to move it right now. They trying to get all this wisdom and knowledge, the books and all of that, just like they stopped making DVDs, stop making CDs and all of that. They're gonna stop printing books. They're gonna stop printing books. A lot of people, not everybody, but they're gonna start to, slowly but surely, move, printing books that's gonna become archaic. Everything gonna be on your phone, gonna be on your computer. It's gonna be digital. It's gonna be AI. It's gonna be artificial intelligence, and that's what it means. And so people, when they say AI, I think people forget what it means just by saying AI. Artificial. What the fuck is artificial? It's not real. It's not original. It's not original at all. And so a lot of people's is going back to CDs. They're going back to vinyl. Okay, they're going back. They call Big Brother from the book 1984. Yeah, a lot of people's going back to vinyl because they understand what classical arts is. They motherfucker won't even know how to play a horn or play a piano. Everything gonna become digital. Everything digital. Where you ain't gonna have no orchestra. You ain't gonna have no peoples out there playing the horns, playing the pianos. All of that shit gonna be a thing in the past. The way they moving now. That's just like right now. You could go and get all type of programs where the shit making beats. You can sing into the damn into the microphone, and the shit it take. You could just be, it ain't even got to be no nice sound. It'll take what you singing, it'll tighten it up, make it sound good. I mean, you can damn near make a whole album, just off of the damn software that they got out right now. So they that's what they want. And now they got all type of AI where they can take a motherfucker voice and put all these fake ass songs talking about Tupac and 50 Cent. They'll take any artist from two different eras and make a song, and make a song. It's fake. It's fake. No originality. It's artificial. So is people gonna start living in an art? Well, you're already halfway living in an artificial world right now. But it's gonna become a point in time where it's gonna be 100% artificial. Yeah, it's gonna be 100% artificial. It's like now all the damn the commercials is all they fake. The people's is not real, so they getting rid of people. They ain't gonna need people for shit. Not for commercials, movies. They gonna get rid of motherfuckers for movies. Because if they could take your face, I don't see how people gonna fall for that. But if they could take your face, they could duplicate you as a person and put your ass on a movie. And if the AI can duplicate how you act in certain movies and shit and put it into your character, then it probably can duplicate you and make an artificial movie. This is all in play. So in a minute, like that one movie where again I forget where Arnold. I forget the name of that movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger, when they was up on Mars. What was the name of that movie? And when you look into the Matrix, it looked like a beautiful city. It looked like a beautiful city, but when you get on the outside, total recall. And when you get on the outside of the screen system that's in the Matrix, it's a fucking a barren planet. The motherfucker, it's a barren ass planet. So they making you think it's a city out there because you living in the artificial matrix. Get on the house, and once you come out of the matrix, you will see that they done already destroyed the planet. They done already destroyed the damn planet. So we got to wake up, man. But a lot of people not dealing with that. After a while, you say this fake. A lot of you can see it's fake. You're like, damn, I can't fuck with nothing. Man, what we losing the originality in everything that we do. So you got to wake up now. You got to wake up. I think a lot of people understand that they're getting back to, and a lot of people, I remember one time Bobby Hemmett had talked about that. And I watch him for certain shit, but he was talking about how, because, melanin, that allows you to hear frequencies that a lot of people can't hear. And back in the day when we was coming up, we had EQs. You had to buy everything separate. You had to get your receiver. You had to get all of that. You had to get your EQ, your tape, your record players, and all of that separate. So I remember the EQs. We used to have like 100-something EQs on each side. You could get a damn 100. Some was even bigger than that, where you can EQ all the frequencies. Today, they don't give you none of that. You don't need it because it's fake. The damn system that they giving motherfuckers is fake. You put your CD in, you put your vinyl in, man, you can hear every fucking song. Every sound, all of that shit. Yeah, today, when you go on, they give you like 3 little EQs. That shit ain't doing nothing. That ain't doing shit. That's fake. They make you look like you EQ, and you ain't EQing a damn thing. Yeah, artificial intelligence and use neuromelanin too. It got to. You see? But anyway, family, you better keep everything, keep all your CDs, DVD. You better keep your DVD player. You better stock up on a few of them motherfuckers. Straight up. You better stock up on some of that shit. Getting you not one of them cheap ones. You better get you a good one. 2 or 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? So you can watch shit. That's why if you watch all them apocalyptic movies, that's the shit. They be wanting. They be wanting the DVD players and shit like that. So they can watch shit. You ain't gonna be able to watch shit if you ain't got nothing like that. You feel what I'm saying? All right, family. I'll see y'all in a minute. Click that Patreon. Click that Patreon link down there. General Seti, Etsy, One Stop, and KingSeti.com. And I'll see y'all in a minute. Black Pop.